Buddy, and welcome to today's episode of the Pam Show. I'm glad you joined me because today we're talking about parenting. Parenting's wonderful. I'm a mom of four, a grandmother of eight. Love my kids, love my grandchildren. It's a wonderful experience. It's a blessing. It's joyous. It's amazing. And then some days it's not, right? As a parent, you can understand what I'm saying here. If you have children, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to dig into that today about it's a two-sided coin, right? It's not always sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. Some days are really, really hard. Parenting is hard. It's the hardest job you will ever do in your life, ever, hands down. And I don't care what anybody tells you about their job and how hard it is and how hard they work. Nope, doesn't beat parenting. Nothing does. Because once you're a parent, you are a parent for life. Now, whether you have your children with you and you're raising them or someone else is raising them for you, you are still a parent. And you can't just quit on that like you can quit a job. Say you're at a job and you really don't like it, don't like your boss, don't like your coworkers, don't like the job. Well, you have the option of leaving, going to find something else. When you're a parent and you're raising your children, that's not an option. I mean, that you're a parent. That's your responsibility, right? Now, yes, I know some people don't for whatever reasons. But I'm talking about if you are raising your children, you have that responsibility day in, day out, 24/7, forever. You're a parent. Now, yes, they're going to grow up. They're going to go out on their own, hopefully. And you have done your job as a parent to teach them how to be responsible, independent, productive members of our society. However, you're still a parent. You don't just turn it off. You don't just not worry about them or, want to help them or spend time with them. You're still a parent. So it's the hardest job you're ever going to do. And let's just talk about sleep. Sleep, what is that? I mean, once you have a child, you can kiss it goodbye. To sleep in, to have like a night's sleep uninterrupted. Yeah, those are far and few between when you're a parent. So if you don't have children yet, brace yourself because that's definitely part of the deal here. And if you have children already, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It'll never be the same, ever. Okay, so just be prepared. All right, and we're going to dig into this, and I have notes because I want to make sure I cover all these for you. The time I raised my children, I worked a full-time job. My husband worked full-time. We had three children at that time. And then 14 years later, we had another one. So I had my last child at 42. It was hard. It was very hard. I'd work all day, get the kids off to school, work all day, come home. And then the whole routine for after school and get them dinner and get them bath and get them to bed and all that stuff. And by the end of the time, you are like so exhausted. Exhaustion is just a part of life when you're a parent. The fatigue kind of sticks around. And we're going to dig into that a little bit. But one thing we didn't have, and I'm very grateful we did not have this, was social media. Because parents today are bombarded with content on social media that they then use to judge themselves as a parent. It could be in how they're parenting, it could be in their appearance, it could be in how their house looks, it could be in how they treat their children. You're just getting things thrown at you constantly. We did not have that. We didn't. And it was tough being a parent. And it was like, suck it up, buttercup, do your job, because that's your responsibility. When you chose to become a parent or you took on that responsibility, that comes with the territory. Doesn't mean it's easy. And then social media just exacerbates that. So when I see reels on social media of moms who are just together, the hair, the makeup, the jewelry, the house is just perfectly clean in the background and they're dressed beautifully. My first thought is, yeah, no, that's not reality. That's a staged, scripted reel. That's not reality. Never do you see the reels where the laundry's piled on the couch and the trash is overflowing and the dishes are in the sink and there's a toddler hanging on your leg crying, snot running down their nose and wailing at the top of their lungs. And the dog's just puked on the carpet and someone's knocking at your door and your phone's ringing all at the same time. Right? That's more realistic than a lot of what you see on social media. So, as a parent, please don't use that as a measure of how you are as a parent because it's not realistic. It's not realistic. I know about a year ago, I asked people, like, send me a picture of your house, like right now. Seriously, like it is right now. And I got pictures of laundry piled on the couch, dishes in the sink, kids' toys scattered all over the living room. That is reality. So I know you have to let go of those unrealistic expectations of yourself. You have to let go of trying to be a perfect parent because they don't exist. Like unicorns, they're not real. So give yourself grace, give yourself a break. It's not always going to be perfect every single day. And yes, there are days that laundry is going to be there until everyone has taken the clothes and worn them. They never get folded and put away. Never been there? Right here. I get it. I get it. So don't put those expectations on yourself in the first place. And then that's going to lead me into the guilt. Mom guilt. I'm sorry. Dad guilt too, maybe. Mom's normally the ones that feel the guilt the most. You feel guilty. You're not good enough for your child. You're not giving them enough. They don't have the nicest stuff. You don't live in the biggest house. You don't drive the fanciest car. They're not going to the best schools. Whatever it is that you use to give yourself guilt, let that go. Let that go. Because let me just say, guilt is going to be with you the minute you have the child. You're always going to look back and go, I could have, I should have, I didn't. I wish I had. But let go of that, okay? It's not serving you. And mom guilt is just weighing you down. You are enough for your child. You're enough. Are you going to be the perfect parent every day? No. They're, like I said, they don't exist. But are you going to have days where you lose it? Sure. You're going to have days maybe where you yell at your child? Absolutely. You can have days where you're like, what was I thinking having children? Yeah, there are some days you're going to think that to yourself when you're right in the midst of all the chaos and the craziness and the overwhelm. And then let's talk about the fatigue. I mean, not just the physical fatigue, the emotional fatigue, the mental load that you carry every single day as a parent. And I'm not talking about just physically keeping your children safe and well and healthy. I'm talking about, doctor's appointments and packing lunches and doing stuff at the school and trying to do your job and trying to juggle everything that you have to juggle. If a juggler had to juggle as many balls as you do as a parent every single day, they could never do it. That could never do it, ever, because it's impossible. But you do it anyway. You do it anyway. It's not always pretty, but you get it done. Okay. You're exhausted. I remember coming home from work one day. I was so exhausted. I didn't know if I could take another step. But guess what? Time to make dinner because the kids are hungry. You do what you have to do as a parent. It doesn't mean you're not exhausted. It means you push through it. But I also want to talk to you about taking some time for yourself. And I know some of you are going like, yeah, right. Like that's ever going to happen. I hear you, but hear me for a minute. I remember somebody telling me when I was a young mom, you have got to put yourself first so that you're able to take care of your children. And I remember thinking the same thing. Some of you are thinking like, yeah, that chance of that ever happening. You know how much I have to do every day? You know what I have to do to take care of this house and these kids and this family? And then it dawned on me, like, okay, if I'm not in a position where I feel rested or healthy mentally or physically, I'm not doing the best job as a parent as I could. So I flipped that and I said, okay, wait a minute, but how can I fit that into my day? Right? It's 24/7, but you feel like you're a parent 24/7. How can you fit that into your day? What I did, and this might work for some of you and maybe not, I got up an hour earlier. Instead of getting up at 6, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I still do to this day, mostly at 5 o'clock every morning. And I spent the first hour just myself, exercising, reading, journaling, meditating, whatever it was. Have a cup of tea, just silence. The peace, nobody asking me for anything, nobody needing anything from me, right? Now, you might not be able to do that. Fine. Find 5 minutes. Even if you start with 5 minutes a day, then it's just for you. If that's all you have for right now, make the effort to put that into your plan every single day. Prioritize yourself for once. Nothing to feel guilty about. Do it. Because when you can do that, and then you can eventually extend that a little bit more, go out of your zone a little bit more. When you are taking care of yourself, you're in a better position to take care of everybody else and everything else that you have to take care of. And I will tell you, there will come a day like I have now where I don't have those responsibilities anymore. And it's a great place to be. I have to tell you, it really is. But I miss that. I miss the kids being around the noise and the chaos some days. All right. So enjoy it. Enjoy your time with your children. Don't wish they would grow up so fast and get out of the house because when they do, you're going to be like, wow, I wish they were back here, at least some of the time. And take some time for yourself, okay, for self-care. All right. And let's talk about the whole discipline thing. Now, I know I come on here and I talk about parenting. I'm a parenting mentor. I talk about behavior management. There are lots of people who come on with different types of parenting, gentle parenting, authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, child-led, whatever. It's confusing. It's draining. It's exhausting. And then because of social media, you feel judged when you're not doing things that you think you're supposed to do, but you're not sure if it's right or not. And then you go out in public and your kid's having a fit in the store, and then people are looking at you and judging you and making comments, and they're going to call CPS on you and they're videotaping it. Holy cow. Holy cow. Okay. Just thinking about that overwhelms me. Here's the thing. You and only you know your children best. You know what works for your family. I can come on here and tell you all day long what to do. Some of what I tell you may work for you. It may not for your family, and that's okay. You find what works best for your family. And even in your family, kids are different. So what works for one child may not really work for the other child. And you'll figure that out. But you do what's best for your family and push back on all that other stuff. And when you have people say to you, well, here's what you should do. You know what I think? You say, okay, that's it, and walk away. Don't say thank you because you really aren't thankful. They're telling you. You're like, get out of my face is what you want to say. Or what do you know? Just say, okay, don't engage, just walk away. Just do what works for you and for your family. And here's the other thing. Nobody gave us manuals when we had children. Nobody handed me one. I remember I had my first son and I'm like, uh-oh. Like, oh, this beautiful little baby boy. What do I do with him now? No one told me. Nobody gave me a manual. I wish someone had, but of course they can't because everyone's different, right? So you just do the best you can, but educate yourself. Take a class online, take courses, read books, go to YouTube, listen to reels. That's part of your responsibility as a parent is to educate yourself if you don't know. And typically, we parent as we were parented. Not always a good thing, not always a good thing. And I know I hear from followers that say, I'm following you because was not raised in a healthy way, and I need help on how to do this. Well, great. Follow me, follow somebody else that you connect with. Educate yourself, connect, talk to other moms, figure it out, because that's your job as a parent. Okay. Parenting is lonely. It's very lonely. Now, it seems crazy to say that because you're surrounded by children, but they're children and you're in this survival. I call it survival mode. Get up in the morning, your feet hit the floor, boom, got to make breakfast, got to get kids to school, got to get to work, got to, the whole routine. I don't have to go through it all. And so you're constantly in go, 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 go mode. And you're focusing on everybody else. But it can be a very lonely position to be in, especially if you're overwhelmed as a parent. You have some mental health issues you're dealing with, and you don't have anybody to talk to. I mean, sure, other moms, but sometimes you don't want to really tell other moms how you're feeling because then you feel judged. So here we go again. Here we go again. My recommendation to you, take it or leave it, is find a good therapist. Find a good therapist. There's nothing wrong with finding a good therapist. Make sure you connect with one that you really like and take advantage of it. Now, I did therapy for about 3.5 years. Mine was more related to caregiving for my mother who had dementia, and that was very, very difficult some days, very difficult. And I finally said, you know what? I need some help with this. I need to talk to somebody and vent. Not everybody around me could understand that because they weren't in that same position. And unless somebody is in your shoes and walking through your life, they don't know what you're dealing with every day. So it's really helpful to find a good therapist that you can talk to and bounce ideas off of and get validated. Like, yes, you're a great parent. You're doing the right things. Breathe, girl, breathe. Okay. It's not a problem. And then also, you're doing better than you think. Our children are looking for perfection from us. They're looking for connection. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for leadership. They're looking for love. They want to know they're safe and protected and that they can trust you. You don't have to be a perfect parent. You don't have to give them everything in the world they want. You need to be there for them. And then this is where I get into this whole social media thing, as far as your children using devices. And this is just my 2 cents worth. When I see young children, 2 and 3 and 4 years old on devices, it's heartbreaking to me. And I know parents say, well, you know what? It keeps them distracted or it keeps them busy and I'm tired. And I get all that, but it's not healthy for your children and even your older children. And I just had something come across my desk today, statistics on the social media addiction that is going on rampantly in our world today. And I was looking at those and I was really startled at some of the statistics. It's scary. It's your job as your parent to control that. Okay. They don't need to have devices in their face all the time. So they can be engaged in other ways. And that's a whole separate show. So I'm not going to dig deep into that. But I just want to tell you, give some thought to that. Okay. That's important. All right. And then, you know what? Your children, you're in the season right now raising your children, and this is going to pass. Now you're thinking to yourself, what? Really? Seriously? It doesn't feel that way to me. I feel like just exhausted and overwhelmed every day. When is this going to be done? It will. Trust me, this too shall pass. Just a season of your life you're in right now is not going to last forever. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Seek out help if you need it. Know that you are enough for your children. You are enough. You don't have to be perfect. Please don't even try to go there. It's not even worth your energy. Just be who you are with your children. Be loving, be kind. I'm all about kindness, right? Be loving, be kind. They're watching you, they're modeling what you do, what you say, and how you do it. And just keep that always in the back of your mind. And just remember to hug and love your babies. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.